Carlton right now are crumbling under expectation yet again, and this 25 to near 30-year period now of the Blues being talked up and then crashing down seems to be on a similar path in 2023. Only a month ago, I teased the question of whether Blues are contenders or pretenders, but right now, they are the biggest downhill skiers and pretenders in the AFL for a while now. I've got the numbers to back it up from their woeful Brisbane performance, the players that are under the pump, and the seeming mediocre nature that is inside this football club that reoccurred on Saturday. Let's have a chat about the Blues and hopefully put to bed any anticipated success in 2023. Let's go. But before that, really quick, the last 3 months in Australia has seen a massive uptick in mental health problems, including the youth when it comes to psychiatric and psychologist appointments, and even things like youth suicide are on the up. You need to be checking in on the people that you love more and more, but not just asking, are you alright, and saying, I'll be here if you need me, and all these things. It's actually being empathetic, caring, listening, and then putting into action great things. You deserve to be okay. Your mates deserve to be okay. Your family deserve to be okay as well. It might take a village to raise a child, but it takes a network to raise an adult. We are all in this together, and we need to stick together throughout the good and the bad. So hopefully all of these mental health statistics can continue to go down, and you can do your bit for absolutely free, and that is checking in with people and proving that you can put the effort in to make sure that if things do go down a dark path, that you will stick fat. No one deserves to go through mental health issues alone, and if you are struggling personally and you might not have that network that you might be looking for, there are plenty of resources available, some down the bottom there, even more in the description below, but I want to get that out of the way because it is so much more important than just footy. Everyone deserves to be okay, and as we hit winter, fingers crossed, we can all do so. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Check in with your mates, check in with your family, make sure that we're doing okay, make sure everyone else is doing okay now, and we can all get through the rest of the footy season together. But onto the Blues. It was an annihilation on Friday night. I'm getting really sick and tired of people on Twitter. Now, I could just end the sentence there because Twitter can be like that sometimes, but I'm really getting sick of experts on Twitter that keep telling us that it was only 4.5 goal loss. They didn't have good opposition last week. They might have been a little bit off. No, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the excuses. And I want to credit a lot of Carlton fans here. Carlton fans aren't actually the ones that are sticking up for the Blues. The only people I can see that are sticking up for the Blues are those media types that had them in their top 4 at the start of the year. They're seemingly the only ones. Carlton fans are used to this. I hope Carlton fans are watching this video right now and going, yeah, welcome to where we are and where we've been for a while now. They are some of the more self-aware fans in the league now. They're the ones that I operate around. I'm sure everyone's probably got a story about that one arrogant Carlton supporter, but I don't really care about the outliers here. Carlton fans know where they're at. They had a serious test on the weekend against a football club that's had the wood over them and failed miserably. And if you look at the numbers behind this game, it is proof that Carlton are playing the fakest football in the league. You might think someone like Freo, with their chipping the ball backwards and all this, that is certainly true, and at 3 and 5, the Dockers are genuinely in that conversation. But what's so annoying about Carlton is the fact that they are downright flat track bullies at the moment. They played scintillating football against West Coast because they were allowed to. Brisbane did not allow them to get the overlap run through Adam Sard. Brisbane didn't let them get the marks inside 50 that West Coast did. They took something like 22 marks inside 50 against the Eagles. I could be wrong on that stat. If I am, the correction's down there anyway. You'll be able to read that, guys. But they took 8 against Brisbane. Carlton's lack of small forward presence is a problem. Jesse Motlop's developing, I understand that. Corey Durden developing, I understand that. But at the moment, them not getting Tom Papley in the door is a huge problem and something that still needs to be addressed. And getting another 18-year-old in isn't really the answer. So what can they do from here? Target one in the trade period feverishly. But how? They don't have the salary cap. They do have further problems, though, the Blue Baggers. They are playing empty football. What do I mean by that? Well, let's check out the goodness of the numbers. If you didn't know the scoreboard, but you'd won the possession count, contested and uncontested ball, if you'd won those stats, you're thinking we're on our way to winning the game. With so much footy, surely we'd be taking it forward, delivering to 2 Coleman medalists, by the way, and being led by a Brownlow medalist in the middle of the ground, and potentially a future one in Sam Walsh. And it's not just 2 blokes getting 48 either. Carlton had 4 more players get 15 plus disposals than the Lions on the weekend. 12-8, as you can see on your screen here. But when those numbers, those good numbers, and the amount of players that are getting the footy are still equating to being relatively even or down in these sort of statistics, it just lets you know that Carlton are a quantity and not a quality kind of football club. And that is a killer. And the reason why they're winning games, aside from the opponents that they've got, they were awesome against Geelong, lucky to get the draw against the Tigers, which is weird because Tigers were also lucky to get the draw against the Blues. Call it lucky, call it unlucky, I don't really care. And of course the West Coast game, they were terrific against West Coast. When you've got that easy kill, you've got to be able to perform the next week. Now, I don't have the official statistics in front of me, but as someone that's watched Hawthorn a lot over the years, going through the pain of the 2013 prelim final in that comeback against the Cats, while Freo had a relatively easier preliminary final against the Swans, and then in 2014, nearly getting overrun by that young Ken Hinkley-led Port Adelaide side, while Sydney went and smacked North Melbourne, and then in 2015, going over to Freo and beating the home team after getting walloped by West Coast only a fortnight earlier. While the Eagles did struggle for accuracy against North in that game, they did it the hard way. The other team didn't, and when it push came to shove, Hawthorn were ready to go. Carlton right now, off that easy game, were not ready to go, and Brisbane, credit to them, made them pay. I would have been so happy to make a Brisbane video. I really want to make a Brisbane video. I might throughout the week. I think they deserve due credit. Brisbane are one of those teams that, unless they win the flag, are not really going to get credit throughout, which personally I think is a little bit unfair. But right now, Carlton are looking shell-shocked. Now, you've looked at the numbers, you've looked at this, you've looked at that, but the mediocrity that's going through the club is poisonous. What do I mean by that? Now, I'm not going to show you the audio clips that I used for these quotes because of 2 reasons. One, copyright, which will stop the video getting monetized, which is not good at all. But the second reason is because whenever you use audio clips, things can be taken out of context, which I know they can in a written format as well, but considering that there is going to be a subjective context argument here, I'd much rather you hear it from me, because again, I don't want to get copyright listed. But last year, copyright strike, sorry, but last year, Harry Mackay went on the couch and, as you can see, told them that the Carlton season could still be considered a success even if they don't make finals. Now, that was huge red flags for everyone that was either tipping Carlton to make the 8 or Carlton fans thinking, why would you think that? And Carlton's season, especially the back end, was undeniably a failure. A massive failure. They needed to win one of the last 4, infamously, as we know, and their last fortnight especially was a calamity, and they couldn't get into the 8. Well, surely they've learned their lessons, right? Wrong. Brian Cook on 3AW, the Carlton CEO, said something that he wouldn't have been caught dead saying as CEO of Geelong, and that is that finals is not the yardstick for Carlton this year. Are you kidding me? Are we really saying to the footballing public and to your fans that have not seen you be a genuine threat in this competition since 1999 that finals is not the yardstick with 2 Coleman medalists, a Brownlow medalist, and something like 9 blokes that have been on All-Australian? Really? That's the line that you're going with? Why are you taking the piss out of 80,000 of your members? Why are you doing it? And anyone that watched Michael Voss's press conference where he was happy with Carlton's effort, can I speak for Carlton fans here? And sorry for swearing, but it's the hospitality person in me. Fuck the effort, the scoreboard is what matters. That needs to be the attitude from higher up people at Carlton. This is a team that deserves better. This is a fan base that deserves better. And when you're not telling the footballing public, hey, that was pretty disgraceful what we did off the back of a good week. We travelled well. We came back. We had a good opponent. They might have got off to a slow start, but Carlton didn't look like getting back into that game at all. And sure, they might have some good players at the top end, but those bottom 6, bottom 8 players at Carlton are not looking good at all. I have no idea why they subbed off Lewis Young. Now, this video has been recorded about 24 hours before you're currently watching this, if you're watching it straight away. But it's about 6 o'clock on Sunday evening when I'm recording this right now. You might notice the lighting looks a little bit different because it's already dark here in Melbourne where I am. But unless something's come out about Lewis Young in the preceding 24 hours, don't get in the comments and go, oh, you dickhead, it's because of this reason. I can't travel back in time and fix it. I'm sorry. But they took Lewis Young out. I don't really know why. I thought he was doing a pretty good job on Eric Hipwood for most of the night. But again, everything that Carlton's doing right now shouldn't really be a surprise. But when you've got 80,000 people that are forking out $200 for a membership, how are you not feeling bad when you're telling them in public spaces, hey, we're being a mid-team at the moment and we're okay with it? You might disagree with that, but that's the message you're sending to people. I don't care how good you look defensively. You conceded 100 points to a contender. Not many teams win finals conceding 100 points to contenders. Alright, 1974, Richmond Carlton. 1989, Hawthorn Geelong. They're the only two that come to mind without me doing any research. But you kick 100 points in a final, you win. Brisbane kicking 100 points against Carlton. Of course they were going to win. Carlton took 8 marks inside 50. They had 47 inside 50s from nearly 400 disposals. Fix it or refund memberships or do something, because at this point Carlton are doing my head in. I don't even barrack for them, but it's getting ridiculous. Carlton fans, non-Carlton fans, now you must be enjoying this if you're a non-Carlton fan with no emotional investment, because it's a continuous tyre fire. I understand that, but my God, it's getting exhausting. I don't really know why. I don't have any emotional investment in the Blues, but right now their members are being lied to, and in my opinion, they're getting a bit ripped off. But what do you think? Comment below, let me know what you think. Share this with a Carlton supporter or a non-Carlton supporter that just wants to see someone go a bit crazy about what's happening at Icon Park at the moment. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'm going to see you again on Thursday night. And if you would like to join the Daz Talks Footy family officially, you can hit that subscribe button or go to patreon.com/DazTalksFooty. $5 a month gets you exclusive articles. The Round 8 Brownlow Brief has dropped. You can check out all the votes, all the players. And I finally got OBS Studio back up and about. So what that means is I can also jump on the laptop for exclusive Patreon videos as well. Take care, guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. Enjoy work if you're working throughout the week. Don't work too hard, though, unless you're self-employed, in which case go and get that bag. See you soon, guys. Goodbye.